We're joined now by Basilia Bokoko. She's from New York. She's an entrepreneur, philanthropist, and former executive director of the Spain-U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the broadcast.
Hi, how are you? Thank you.
We know that high unemployment, labor reforms, and austerity measures, as our reporter Dan Williams was just saying there, are part of the disenchantment. But what else is pushing voters to abandon the party?
Well, I really believe that besides the unemployment rate, economy is a very important issue in these elections, but also is the issue that the separatists, the problem of Spain not being unified, and because of the problem with Catalonia and the País Vasco, the Basque country. So I think that is another issue that is very important in these elections. And other issue is also the public services, the reduction of public services, which for the Spanish landscape, political landscape, was very important. So all of these issues is things that it's very important to see the results that we're going to have in these elections.
Basilia, people, as you know, usually say that voters will vote with their pocketbook, what's in their bank account. So Spain's economy right now is roughly growing around 3%, the highest in Europe. Why is this not enough for voters?
Well, I think it's because of the unemployment rate and because of the youth is very dissatisfied with this situation. And another issue is also the corruption. There's been a lot of issues with corruption lately, mainly by the two main parties. And I think that since the 70s, after the transition in Spain, we only have two parties, and both of them has been involved in many cases of corruption, and that brought the dissatisfaction. So it's not only the economy, the issue that is in this moment, and also the problem of unemployment has not been resolved yet. We started in 2011 when the PP party took over. We have 27%. And now we still are in 21%, which still is a very high rate on unemployment. And a lot of young people has been forced to leave the country. So I think that's the reason why people still is not completely happy.
You mentioned the unemployment. It's huge there. Is that really what is driving this? Is that what people want to turn around?
Well, I think it's one of the main issues, but I think that from my perspective and the knowledge that I have about what is going on in Spain and the people who I talk to and entrepreneurs, I think the main issues is the unemployment rate. I think it's also the fact that people need a change. I think people is a little bit tired. It's both of the governments have not really gained a lot of popularity, and the leaders are weak in this moment. So I think there's also this kind of lack of leadership that people is experiencing. And I think Spain is ready for a change, and that is exactly what we're seeing in these elections, that you know, still we are in the conservative side, and people don't want to make completely a change, because if you see the population in Spain is mainly old population, so the young people have not such a big voice, and also most people who vote at over 50 years old, the young people don't go to vote so much. So this is really what we are seeing right now, that the PP party still got the most amount of votes, but still we have the newcomers in the bloc that they're taking, you know, they're making a shift of what is the history of Spain, and that's why it's so exciting moment for Spain, because for the first time in history we have other two parties that they're gonna kind of shape the new Spain.
Basilia, we actually have a picture up right now live from Madrid of people out, I believe, you know, rallying, watching a big screen, obviously a lot of excitement there. Do you feel like across Europe there is sort of a movement going on after voters in Greece and Portugal also ousted their governments?
Yes, I think the economic crisis since 2008 has been really changing the future of Europe. Also, the European Union has not been extremely successful in the way that to understand each other and work together like a union. So I think it's a big change in Europe in general, and I think all started with the crisis. It was the detonant, but You could feel that it's a kind of a revolution going on, and the structures of the countries are changing. And this is another example of it, and the excitement of people about these elections. I never have experienced so much attention, and I think that the way that European countries are responding is by changing the structures of the old Europe.
Basilia Bokoko, thank you so much. Great to see you live in New York.